Yes, press it. Okay, podcast is live.
We are live, gentlemen. We are live. Thank you for coming, fellas. It's a great to have you. This is Joga Afro. My name is Mbizom Zamane, and obviously, this is football from an African perspective. It's been a long time coming, but we are back. And I'm back with the gents here. Fellas, please introduce yourselves. Let us know who you are. Let's start with my man, Ramuki over here. Ramuki, what's up, my guy?
I'm all good. I'm all good. I'm all good. Excited again. Excited again. It's been a while. Again, my name's Mkono Ramuki. I'm here to give you guys a bit of some D-ski output experiences and all the stuff that I've been learning and seeing. Please don't take me too seriously when I joke around, but take me seriously when I'm serious.
Okay, sure, my guy. No worries. Tembani, I see you with the Orlando Pirates jersey. Give a shout out.
Look, I just had to just what do you call it? Put my colors out as it is from the get go, so we get the formalities out the way. But yeah, Bizo, thanks for having us. Like you said, my name is Temba Maluleke, way out in Limpopo in Kiani. Excited to be here. It's been a long time coming. It's been a long time coming, and I'm
Long
glad it's
time
finally
coming.
happening. It's gonna bring a bit of perspective on African football. From an African perspective, being on the African continent. But also casting our net wide across the whole continent. So yeah, excited,
Yeah,
excited.
yeah, I love it. Absolutely. Africa and the diaspora. Our resident technician, Milton. Can you hear us there, buddy? You might be frozen there a little bit. Milton. All right, we'll come back to Milton. No problemo. When he comes back, we'll introduce him. Chad Lee. Chad, are you there? Milton is back.
Oh, he's back.
Milton, give a shout out to the people there, brother.
Yo, Bizo, thanks for having me, man. My name is Milton Tatling. I'm out here in Brits in the Northwest. Just here to bring a little bit of a different perspective on football. Obviously, we're going to touch on some African stuff, some world football as well, and hoping to add some beautiful insights to the beautiful game.
Wonderful, man. Thanks for being here, Milton. Appreciate you. That's South Africa, by the way. Brits, northwest of South Africa, since we're talking to the entire diaspora here. Chad P, are you there, buddy?
Good evening. Good evening.
What's up,
Bizo,
man?
thank you for having me. What's up, gents? Hope you guys are
Wait,
good. I'm Chad, here for the vibes, here for the chats.
All right, man.
Inside, let's get it, boys and girls.
Oh, okie dokie. Yeah, and ladies, right? True enough. We will be tackling a lot of actually African women's football as well. Thank you for that, Chadley, because honestly, one of my biggest frustrations has been that very few news broadcasting sports outlets deal with African women's football. American, yes. European, yes. And
Yep.
even the Brazilians are starting to pay attention to Brazilian women's football in South America. But Africans, no one's paying attention to it, not even us. So we're definitely going to bring that to the forefront in this show. But not today, not right now. We have so much stuff for this show. It's crazy, but we're going to try to get through it all. Gents, let's start a few weeks back, okay? The close of the
Okay.
transfer window. There's been a lot of business. African players are always on the move. Okay, what are some of the transfers that have caught your eye? I mean, we have your Lukaku's going to Chelsea, Ashraf. These are some of the higher profile transfers. Hakimi to PSG. Okay, he's balling. Kamavinga just completed a transfer to Real Madrid. We'll talk about
Okay.
what some presenters there had to say about his
Yes.
blackness. So for you guys, what are some of the transfers? Let's start with you, Ramuki. What are some of the transfers that have caught your eye, brother, in this window?
I think for me, the Lukaku one is very key for me. Because, I mean, Chelsea needed somebody as good as him. I mean, he's a strong beast. I mean, obviously, we can sometimes disagree on what I think he lacks and what he needs to improve on.
Yeah.
But overall, I think he's a good addition, a great addition to that number 9 role. I think that was a great signing for me. I think that was probably my most highlight of the transfers. Obviously, besides the ones that we know about.
Yeah, sure, sure. Tembani, what about for you? What stuck out for you? I know you like my boy Patson Daka. He went to Leicester. I know you're a big fan. I know you're a huge
Yeah,
fan.
that's actually the one that I was going to talk about. I mean, we all saw the Lukaku's, Hakimi to PSG, big moves, obviously. But there's two transfers that actually stood out for me. One, obviously, is Patson Daka to Leicester City. I think that's a brilliant addition for Leicester. Taking into consideration that someone like Jamie Vardy is at the twilight of his career. But you have Iniacho in there who's actually performing quite well. But there is some continuity right there. So with a player like Daka and actually what he brings on board, I think Leicester actually have something good going there. The scouting department definitely working overtime. That's what I think. But the second one is the Percy Tau to Alahi move.
Yes.
Expected but unexpected. A lot of people didn't. A lot of people in South Africa didn't really like the move or don't understand the move. Everyone feels it might be a bit of a step back. But I think it might be a good move for him personally, right? Obviously, he's going to make a bit of money. But second, you'll definitely get a lot of game time. The standard is quite high, and the exposure is quite there. You might be able to still move back to Europe or even move around in North Africa. I apologize. And then the standard of football is quite high there, and that means that actually benefits the national team also at the end of the day. So those are the two standard moves for me during this transfer window.
Yeah, I mean, South Africans might be frustrated that he's come back to the continent and doesn't stay in Europe. But what's the purpose of staying in Europe if you're not playing football?
You're not playing.
Right? You need to be playing football.
Yeah.
And as far as Daka's concerned, are you frustrated with the fact that he hasn't played as much as you'd like?
Look, yes, definitely. I thought maybe he might get a bit more games. It's the fourth game now in the league. I think this coming weekend, you'd hope that he would have gotten a bit more minutes under his belt. But still, the first couple of games, he's probably still adjusting, acclimatizing to the league, the weather also, the culture.
Yeah,
but I think once he, exactly, rains randomly on any given day, the weather's quite different. It might not be too different from where he was playing before, but it's England anyway, so it's a different beast altogether. But once he hits the ground running, I'm quite confident that he will definitely do the Zambian people proud, Southern African people proud, but the whole continent as a whole definitely proud, for sure.
Defo. Ramuki, it seemed like you wanted to say something there quickly.
Yeah, I was mentioning the Percy one. I mean, I feel like he could have went back to the Belgian side that he went to. He was getting a lot of game time there. He was playing Champions League. I mean, playing amongst the best.
I think for him,
I thought
I read some other interview where Sorry. I read some other interview. He said, look, he's done it all in Belgium, if you consider that, right? He's played in the second division, right? Quote unquote. He's played for Club Brugge, he's played for the biggest team in Belgium. He's won, I think he won the league also there in the first division. He's played in the Champions League. And I think for him, I suspect that his mindset, he was tuned to playing in the EPL. And when he realized that was not really happening or was not going to happen, and maybe the timeline that he had in his mind, that's probably when he decided to jump ship and then realized, like Bizo said, he's there sitting on the bench. Danny Welbeck is playing in front of him, they've got all the other guys playing in front of him, and he's not necessarily getting a chance. He feels like he's not getting a chance. Even League Cup, FA Cups. So just bounce, bro. I think personally for him, he feels like it's the right decision, and I tend to agree with him also. I do agree with him. I get why he didn't go back to Belgium. Just like how he didn't come back to South Africa.
Milton, you have any opinion on any of these aforementioned transfers, bro? And what are your own thoughts, your own transfers that stood out for you?
Well, for me, the Patson Daka one is quite interesting.
Yeah, you're a Leicester fan, aren't you?
I'm a Leicester fan, so quite interesting. I'm disappointed because I'm not seeing him play at all. I think he's got a lot to offer. I've watched training video of him do well at training, score bicycle kicks, overhead kicks at training. So I don't think it's an issue of him struggling to adjust to the team. I think he's an incredible player, and players with class can adjust to teams pretty quickly. And the best way to make them adjust to the team is by letting them play.
Yeah.
So So I think I don't know what Brandon Rodgers has got planned, but I'm hoping to see him play sometime soon. And another transfer that has really caught my eye is Damari Gray to Everton. I think he's an underrated player. Was sad to see him leave Leicester in the first place because we need a player like him on the
Yeah,
wings.
definitely.
I mean, I'm glad that we got Ademola Lookman the
Hey, that
season
Niger boy
on
can
loan.
play.
So I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see that as well. And oh, like I was saying, Damari Gray, I think he's an underrated player, and I think he's going to do very well for Everton. He's class. I mean, he belongs in the Premier League or any league in the world actually. I think he's going to do very very well. One more transfer is Camavinga to Real Madrid. I really, really, really like that kid, and I think he has a bright future. Scored within 6 minutes of his debut for Real Madrid. Obviously, was subject to some racism in Spain. Fresh into his season or his stay in Spain, and he's subject to racism. So I don't know what that says about the country itself, but that kid has overcome some serious barriers. Born in Angola, went to France with his family, and then their house burnt down. He lost almost everything, and then to play for Rennes at 16. And what really is incredible for me, the most incredible thing he did is that he could have left Rennes next season as on a free, and he would have probably made more money than he did now. But
Yeah,
he, out of respect for the club, said he wants to leave now so that the club can get
can
some
make
money
some
for
money.
him as a player, because that's how much he respects the club, and he wanted to give something back for what they did for him. So that kid, I think he has a very bright future.
Big up. Yeah, that's true. I didn't actually realize that that's something that he decided to do, was to leave now in order for the club to cash in on him. That's an incredible gesture. And by the way, the racism that Camavinga was subjected to was a reporter, Spanish reporter. Her name is Lauren Gonzalez. She was on her way out of the studio after discussions about the Spanish league, and she said that Camavinga was blacker than the suit that he was wearing. So yeah, they don't play around in the Iberian Peninsula. They're quick to remind you what you are and where you're from. But she has since been arrested. Actually, she was arrested, and I think from police custody, she issued an official apology live on live TV to Camavinga. So I'm sure she regrets that decision. But nice and early, bright and early, Camavinga realizes he's not in France anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Quick reminder.
Chadley, yeah, Chadley. What about you, my guy? We've left I think the
Two,
best to last. Tell us some Chan.
two,
Tell us some Chan.
two, two African transfers, and both from the same country, which shocked me. The first one is Amad Diallo,
Mm,
going on loan from United to Feyenoord.
mm,
Feyenoord, a very good team, but I feel like he should have stayed in England. I honestly feel for his development, he should have stayed in England, stayed in the league, gone to maybe a Palace or a Watford or somewhere where he can be of use, where he will get minutes but still adapt to the league.
mm,
Feyenoord is good and
mm,
it's a good pedigree, but I mean, he came from Atalanta, he came from the Champions League. So the
yeah.
exposure which he would get at Feyenoord, he got at Atalanta already. So I feel like the move to Feyenoord, it's still a good club, but I don't like the fact that he has to readapt to the league after his loan.
Okay,
Um,
interesting. Tembani, you seem to shake your
and
head there.
then
You don't. I don't think you agree.
No, 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 no. I actually do agree with him, especially moving from Atalanta to Fire Man United and then Feyenoord. Bit of a downgrade, right? But I do get why he would move there. Obviously, less pressure, right? One, but also game time, and he might actually get to work on some things that he might not get the chance to in the EPL or at his actually parent team because of always the pressure that's there.
Yeah,
So once
that's
you
for
go to
sure.
Feyenoord, you might be a bit of in obscurity, yes, but he'll get the time to actually work on whatever he has to actually work on. But I do get and I do agree with what Chad is saying, especially considering where he's coming from. Champions League team. I mean, they've been in the Champions League for the last 2-3 seasons. Obviously, surprise package. Most of us didn't think they would last for the last 2 seasons. I think they were 2 seasons, yeah. But they're there consistently now. So,
yeah. I mean, the boy can play. It was definitely a surprise move. What else, Chadley? What else? Is that the only one, or you have some more for us, brother?
My second one shook me more, not because of the player, but because of where he moved to, and that's Maxwell Cornet. Moving from Lyon to
really
Burnley.
Glad you, bro.
Burnley, guys. My man left Lyon, left the Champions League to be a token.
Honestly, I was absolutely flabbergasted that Burnley had showed any interest in him whatsoever in the first place. I was even more shocked that he accepted the move. I mean, that was crazy, right? That's a very good call, Chadley.
My man, and then at the same time, the drop in quality from Lyon to Burnley. Maxwell Cornet is class.
Yeah,
he is a class left back, and good left backs are hard to find. For you to go from Lyon, who made Champions League quarter semi-final last season, to go play for Sean Dyke.
I agree completely with you. It seems like a lot of steps backwards. A lot of steps backwards. Yeah.
We forget what happened to the last token at Burnley, Mr. Andre Gray.
We should actually consider the Burnley, the city in general. It's not the most comfortable place for people of color. So to be the only person of color on your team, well, not the only, but the only African, and the only person with that much melanin in a team like that is, it's quite difficult. I mean, Burnley was the same place where last year they flew the banner of White Lives Matter over the stadium. A fan actually took money out of his own pocket to pay for a banner that says White Lives Matter flying over the stadium. So, I guess we can just wish him well.
Can my man even speak English, or is it just je m'appelle everywhere?
Who knows? So hopefully he adjusts well and perform. I mean, he's a player. He's a footballer.
Yeah,
he's a player. He's a player.
So hopefully, at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully he will do well. Let me just take a quick second to give a shout out to all the viewers that have come in. You're live with Joga Afro. I have some fantastic analysts here, some sharp minds. Big up to Amunga, on goal Liberia, run by my man King over there. Tato, what's up, big guy? Football in Pidgin, one of the channels that gave me the inspiration to get back on the horse myself. Thanks for being here, gents. Really appreciate you. And Simnikiwe Ngelanga, a Tosa wise man from the Eastern Capes of Southern Africa. Thanks for being with us here, gentlemen. I really appreciate you guys being live with us here. All right, let us keep it moving, gents. Okay, so that's the transfers. I mean, there's been a lot of stuff. We could talk forever about this, and so I'm intentionally avoiding it, because if I get into what Palace has done in the transfer window, you guys are going to be mad with me, especially about Arsenal that have spent 50 mil on your Ben Whites. Why are you sipping there? Why are you sipping? You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. But since we're on the subject, tell us what you're thinking.
Listen, Palace right now looks better than Arsenal.
Absolutely.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Absolutely.
Because my thoughts are simple. In fact, I think Arsenal needs an African coach.
You mean which one? You don't mean Patrick Vieira, do you?
That's the only one.
They should have gotten packed.
I'm just saying, we need maybe maybe Henry must come there and just show us something.
Henry, you don't think Henry is the one? Tembani.
There's only one coach who has a pedigree, right, to get those guys to win and play and be tough and be the Arsenal that we know, right, or once knew. And unfortunately, it's Patrick Vieira. Lelong. He's the only one, unfortunately. And I told you this before, Bizo. Vieira is right there, Crystal Palace, harnessing his trade, whatever you want to call it, right? Getting his things in order, getting a feel of the EPL. While Arteta's at Arsenal, warming the seat up for Patrice. And when the time is right,
Unfortunately,
when
I
the
think
time is
you're right.
yeah, exactly.
Unfortunately, I think you're right.
yeah.
We're just gonna enjoy him while we have him. And listen,
Exactly.
he's brought in some very talented young African players. Olise, well, Eze was there before he arrived, but obviously he's going to be excited to play under him. Mark Guehi that we got from Chelsea. So we look good. But I like that boy you guys got, Sambi Lokonga. I think he's one of Arsenal's best players already. I think he's fantastic.
What a player. I just saw in the comments my brother just chimed in and said typical Arsenal fan Temba there. Obviously I'm gonna talk about my team. Even but you see, I'm excited to see Sambi and Partey together in the midfield. I'm really excited to see that. And watching the last game, I think Arteta actually now he might understand that he can't keep on doing the same thing that he's been doing and think he'll get different results playing Xhaka there when we all know that Xhaka cannot be a pivot in the midfield. I don't even know why they gave him a contract extension. Exactly. So once he understands, and I think it might be a bit too late for him, and he might end up getting the sack because he's failing to understand and not seeing everything that I think we can all see that midfield partnership. We just need a Partey, Lokonga there, and then everything else will just fall into place. But what a player! I
agree with that. Yeah. All right, gents. Before we get sucked into a 1-hour show on transfers, let's keep it moving. We just came out of the World Cup qualifiers for CAF, right? Which I don't care what anyone says is by far the toughest, the hardest World Cup qualifying continent in the world. I mean, you're not just dealing with football here. We know this. You're dealing with infrastructural issues. You're dealing with political issues. You're dealing with, I mean, let's be honest, admin, tribalism. I mean, let's just be frank and put it all out on the table there. But we've been having some fantastic performances and some fantastic results from some of the bigger teams and some other ones that have shocked and surprised us. But before we get into that, let's just check here. Football in Pigeon has said Sambi was bought in as one for the future, right? But he's already looking like one for the present. I think he's a fantastic player. I think he's for the present, right? And that the Sambi and Partey combination will be good. So people seem to agree with you on that. So thanks a lot, gents. If you've just joined us, you're with Joga Afro, and we're moving on to talk about the African qualifying. Gents, Senegal beats Togo 2-0, beats Congo 3-1. What do you guys think about this Senegalese team? Milton, what do you have for us there? Miltonius? Miltonius is in Brits. Chadley, you were gonna say something for us there, Chadley.
Look, Senegal's wins are hard fought. It's good to see that Sadio is stepping up for his country over Liverpool. Sorry to bring that up. But it's good to see him leading from the front. Look, Senegal are a powerhouse. And it would be criminal if Senegal does not make it to a World Cup. I'm hoping that somehow a miracle happens. Bafana tops this group and goes through. But if they do, I don't want them to face Senegal. Everyone else besides Senegal can take an L and I'll be happy. But Senegal are a powerhouse, and I hate the fact that they have to constantly be overlooked as such in this continent.
Yeah, I mean it's really difficult to qualify, obviously, out of Africa, and there's so many good teams and so many good players. But I think it's Senegal's underachievement, maybe, that has put them at this level that they are. They should be revered more. But the failure to perform in the World Cup, maybe, I mean, in a group that they definitely should have gone through, right? In my opinion. And then maybe not impressing too much in the last AFCON. What do you think? Milton, do you have any opinions on this Senegal team?
Huh? Wait.
Milton, gone
Wait.
again.
Wait,
Go ahead,
Mbizo. While Milton's going on, I hear you saying underperforming in the last AFCON.
Yeah, as far as
But
the
you can't
football is
underperform if
concerned.
you get. Yeah, but they got to a final.
Yes,
not
but I mean
Algeria
the
team.
Win it, that's the
quality.
point.
Yeah, I mean the
But they
quality
still
of the
were
team.
winning.
Yes, they should be winning. I mean that team with that level of quality. The football should have been better. You spoke about how their wins are all hard fought. I don't believe that Senegal should be struggling to overcome a Togo or a Congo. Yeah, we know it's Africa.
It's Africa. Yes.
It's Africa. TIA. Yes, but at the same time, they should be performing better. What do you guys think?
Senegal should be winning easy. Senegal should be winning easy, but again, the fact that they're not winning any cups is what makes them just a little bit under everybody else. Do you understand? So, for example, you get Egypt that most of the time wins the African Cup.
AFCON.
Okay? The AFCON wins it. So obviously, when you start comparing those type of levels, then they fall short. But once they start winning, I think their presence will take them a little bit more serious.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I think Dumisani here agrees with you. I regard Senegal as the Netherlands of Africa. Great team, great players, but never achieve anything. Right? That's what it's been so far. Right? That's what it's been so far.
To be, by the way, so they won.
Germany
used to be Germany all the time. Remember?
Germany had
what?
2 or 3 World Cups. Okay, granted it was Western.
Germany is second to Brazil.
Okay. Before even that,
I'm saying
going further back.
Don't go further back. Okay. Let's say before they won the World Cup, there was
which year? Which year?
I mean, after what's it? Spain won the thing 2010, right?
2014.
That's when Germany won. I think Kamuki is talking about 2002, 6, and 10.
Okay.
Right? Okay. I'm saying before that they were always second. Second, got out in the finals, got out in the semis. They were always this close.
Last 16,
2014 won the World Cup, then all of a sudden everything started going right for them. So I'm saying before Germany started winning the World Cup, I feel like it was more like what Senegal is right now. 2 Senegal wins. If they don't win, well, of course I'm wrong.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay, yeah, you do make sense. Ramuki. Let's move on here to another team that I really, really like, but they seem to be really struggling to get going. Mali beats Rwanda 1-0 and then struggles to overcome Uganda. What do you guys think about this Mali team? Any opinions there?
They're not qualifying for World Cup.
You're discounting them all together there, Chadley.
Yeah, they're not qualifying for World Cup. Look, they'll make the playoffs. In my opinion, they'll make the playoffs, but that's where it ends. Mali making a World Cup will be a miracle. Mali is also a team historically with vast potential. We always have stars coming from out of Mali, and as a football team, they're a team more never to be slept on, rather than to stay awake and watch and take note of as they pummel the big dogs.
Okay.
So they're not qualifying.
Well, I mean, it's also a question of we have such few slots. Well, we have 50 plus countries who are quite decent at football. Almost
Yeah.
all of them, even the ones with no resources to even eat, never mind play football. They play decent football. And we only have these measly slots. Any opinion on that, Milton, or on the African qualifying in general?
No, I mean I've seen some surprise games, but such as Libya winning. So I think they beat Angola. So that was a surprise to
They
me.
top of the
But
group. They top of the group.
Hey,
Top of the group.
don't sleep on the
exactly.
Gaddafi boys.
No, I'm actually surprised because of the political situation in the country that these guys
Yeah.
are playing good football. I mean, that's something that you have to consider when it comes to African football. Is that back home it's not so rosy. So these things tend to affect you in certain
Yeah,
ways, and they
sure.
do affect the football.
Sure.
So it's great to see some of these teams playing some good football, just to forget about the woes that we have.
Yeah,
Back home.
Mali. There's a coup in Mali. And these gents are having to come play World Cup
Exactly.
qualifiers. No, I mean this is real. You know, these are
Exactly.
real
No,
things.
this
Shooters in the lounge, my man.
Yeah, you know, these are real things that are going on
yeah.
the continent, and we have to play around them. You know, so
Yeah.
definitely it's always impressive when countries like Libya
Yeah.
are doing well.
Libya.
Right? Let's Gabon loses to Libya, right?
Exactly.
Angola as well. Egypt beats Angola, but fails to overcome Gabon. You seem like you have some thoughts
Exactly.
on that, Tembani.
Look, like Milton was saying, if you look at Libya's group, you've got Egypt, you've got Gabon, right, and you've got Angola. Angola, yes, this couple of years maybe they might have flattered a little bit, but Egypt and Gabon, you would expect them to beat Libya on any day. Even thought, like you said, Libya is going through all the turmoil. They're playing their home games away because you can't play football in Libya right now. They still managed to beat some of these teams, so it's pretty crazy. But it goes back to what you said in your intro to this segment. There is no easy game in African football.
There's
There
no
really
easy game.
isn't.
Yeah.
There really isn't there is no easy game because even if you look at the group where like South Africa's group, right? I don't know if you're still gonna get there or what, but if you look at
Yeah,
South
no,
Africa's
it's
group,
fine.
everyone expected us to be the whipping boys there. I know the group is not finished as yet, because Ethiopia plays some decent football. Zimbabwe has a lot of stars, they play some decent football. And I'm not even gonna talk about Ghana. Even with the second string team, on paper they're supposed to beat Bafana Bafana. But because there is no easy game in African football, it's a free for all. Obviously you have the top guys, the top 5 teams, your Algeria, your Egypt, your Ghana, your Senegal, your Cote d'Ivoire, and all of that. But there is no easy game in African football. I think the sooner most countries start realizing that and take some of those games more seriously, and also their football in general, I think also the better the standard of African football will increase. I think so. The more obviously we take it more seriously. Yeah.
Definitely. We have to. You can't.
Yeah.
You have to play in Africa. You have to play because also everyone's playing for a contract. This isn't just about getting to the World Cup. It's about getting up and out of here. It's about a European team, looking at you and saying, "Look, we want this player," picking you up. It's it's about your private career as well, your personal career, and not just the success of your nation. Right?
It's one of the easiest way out of poverty on the continent. That's just the honest truth. One of the easiest way, being an athlete. Hence, if you look at some of the richer nations and poorer nations, the dynamics and how the players progress in some countries, football is the only way out, right?
Yeah.
In a country like South Africa, the guys are so nonchalant about it because they think they have another option. They think. They might not, but they think. Those guys understand that, I need to get out of here. But me getting out is me coming back and improving my community and my society. And football is the key to that. So,
yeah, that's very true. Yeah, football, politics, and society on the continent is just one big mashup, right? You mentioned Algeria, and that's a team that I want to speak about because I mean, what a team! Honestly, they didn't impress me in the AFCON. They got the job done, but I wasn't impressed by the brand of football. Okay, but we're talking about a team now that's 29 games unbeaten, 21 wins, 16 clean sheets, 67 goals scored, and only 18 conceded. They just recently demolished Djibouti. 8-0. Okay, granted
basically.
it's Djibouti, but
It's
scoring
Djibouti.
8 goals. Yeah, but scoring 8 goals on the
You'll
African
still take the
continent.
8 though.
Yeah.
What are your guys'
Yeah.
thoughts on Algeria, gents?
My thoughts are simple, right? Sometimes you don't have to play the perfect game. Sometimes you just need to get the group, get the win,
Mhm.
and then
Mm.
start building yourself from there. Okay, it's very difficult to play pretty football in Africa. Okay,
Yeah.
it's very difficult. I mean, you fly in, or sometimes you might even take a bus. Okay,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
already have jet lag on you. Okay, then all of a sudden they tell you, well, you can't go into this hotel. Now you have to
Yeah.
look for so there's
Mm-hmm.
already so much stress already in that sometimes,
Yeah.
listen, you just want to park the bus, score, go home. In
Mm.
fact,
Oh, man,
straight
how
Yeah.
you
after the game, you take your bus back home. You don't want to go back to the hotel.
Mm.
my man, how are we gonna play tiki taka on lumpy grass?
Exactly.
Honestly, and recently I've just seen that there's this issue now with the CAF is talking about not allowing some home games to be played in certain countries that don't bring the
Oh,
stadiums up to standard for the games,
mm,
and which is obviously it's understandable. There's a certain standard that must be maintained, but there are certain
Yeah.
socio-economic considerations that have to be taken
Exactly.
with, again, it's not, football isn't in this vacuum, right? It's not played in this vacuum. There are
mm.
other factors. What's the economy like? Who's in charge? And so on and
Yeah.
so forth.
But
These things make a difference.
CAF needs
Yeah.
to also take some responsibility for such
Yeah,
things
yeah,
because they're
yeah,
also our governing body in Africa.
yeah, yeah,
Right?
definitely.
So they have to take some responsibility also to the standard, especially on a Premier League level.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
Premier League level, these are professional players playing on that type of field that you say, well, we don't want you to play there anymore.
yeah,
What are you
yeah.
doing about it?
Yeah, you have to take
Yeah.
responsibility for that.
Take
You have to
responsibility.
invest and bring
Yeah.
infrastructure.
Don't
Yep.
just say,
But you
oh,
see,
we're
look,
not going to play you anymore. Well, what are
yeah.
you going to do about it? Well,
Look, in
it's
in
fine
that
to
case,
say
right, I think,
a couple of games.
yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Sorry, I was just saying in that case, look, it becomes a bit difficult for CAF, right, being the mother body or the umbrella body, right? At the end of the day, it's just an association. They can't just now come into South Africa and say, okay, coolios, we are upgrading the stadium. Here, obviously, they can assist with money, but now the money that they give the association now takes a different shot left because now it goes to Mbizo. Mbizo, the president of the association, now he needs to buy kits. That money needs to be spent or spread across all junior national teams, women national teams, male national teams. I think
Some in his
the
pocket.
one thing, yeah, is the family's pockets. I think the one important thing that we need to look at and associate with the local associations, right, is how they are professionalizing the game, right, and the type of assistance that they provide to the teams, right. But at the same time, not at the same time, but with the professionalization of the league itself, then it becomes much more easier for guys with money, sponsors to come on board and say, okay, look, here's my 50 grand. I'm pumping it into this team here or for these facilities because I know I'm dealing with a proper organization. Some people are taking this stuff seriously, and there's a 5-10 year plan. And then obviously, then we have targets that are set, that are measurable. Unlike now, where if we just keep on pumping money into African football without the structure and systems properly in place, then it just becomes a black hole of money just going down the drain. Even if you look at what happened in South Africa with the FIFA fund, whatever that fund was, development fund,
Yeah, it's
that's about how
gone.
many millions that just went down the
It's
drain
it's
because the
gone.
structures, the
Yeah.
basics weren't done correctly. So CAF can come on board and do and support as much as they can, but until us as Africans, we start taking basic things seriously, implementing them. Maintenance is the grounds that we're training on. Maintenance is our admin. Those basic things that we need to start taking serious. Then we can move on and say, okay, look, CAF, the amount of money that you guys are spending on teams for traveling the Champions League is not enough. But now you have a team winning a league in Nigeria, for example, right? There's 20 teams in Nigeria. Just for example, as with Kano Pillars, you find that their stadium is not up to date or up to standard, but they've been playing how long? Kano Pillars is one of the biggest teams in Nigeria, in Yimba. But if you look at the home games that they're playing in, what are they doing about it themselves to try and push themselves up? I think that's where we can blame Cass, yes, but some of the guys that run the teams, that missing the teams, they need to take it more seriously. A good example is, sorry for going on for too long. A good example is,
One more
look at
example.
us going one more, yeah, yeah. Look at us going on in Tanzania. Look at us going on in Tanzania, right? With Yanga and Simba, they pumping money into the game, but how they're using the money on the infrastructure, etc., etc. So we just need to get that right as Africans. We'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Okay, I think this is definitely a subject
Yeah,
for another time. There's a lot
yeah,
that, yeah, this is actually,
yeah,
it could be a PhD. In fact, you could study this
yeah.
for a few years. So let's keep it moving, gentlemen. Let me just check some of the comments here. Dumisani agrees with Chad that Mali is definitely not going to the World Cup. Football in Pigeon asserts that Algeria is the team everyone wants to avoid. I think that's about correct. And Dumisani also thinks that Algeria has a great team. The other one that I'm delighted to say is coming back into prominence is Niger. Those Niger men took care of business versus Liberia and dispatched Cabo Verde as well. Cape Verde gone. What do you guys think about this resurgent Niger team?
I I don't trust Gernot Rowe. Still, I will not trust that man. I don't trust that man with anything. I can't. I cannot watch Niger. Watch Niger sweat to make it into a World Cup. They will start well, but I swear they do it just to calm nerves of that FA. Just to calm the nerves of that FA. And Bo Sunday Olise, who wants his job back, Bo, they're just doing it to calm the nerves. But Gernot Rowe is going to do something to mess it up.
So
I've seen it.
you don't think he's the man to command them back to continental and maybe even world prominence?
He wasn't the man for the last 4 years for me. He wasn't. I can't believe in this guy. I cannot. I miss Stephen Keshi, but still, I can't believe in this man.
Rest in peace.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, honestly.
R.I.P.
No, but we hear you. I
But
think we all agree with you there. I mean, the legend, the man himself.
Yeah.
Obviously, we would all love to see him there, and actually, we would all love to see in general more African coaches coaching African
Coaching on the
teams.
continent.
I mean, there's just been a flurry. Black Stars have approached Herve Renard. I can't with Herve Renard. Okay,
Danke Bafana.
at least Zimbabwe just fired some Croatian chap who no one has ever heard of. We don't know what he's ever done in Croatia or anywhere.
Plamba.
But yeah, some
Danke
guy.
Bafana.
But he's European, so he's the head coach. Egyptians have brought back Carlos Queiroz, who's had some success, I guess, on the African continent. So do we need more African coaches, Jets? Do we need more African coaches of African teams?
Yes,
I think so.
we
almost-
definitely do.
Milton, you wanted to say something there, bro?
Yeah, I think we definitely need some African coaches. We don't have our own identity. There's no philosophy when it comes to national teams. We get every second rate, second string European coach comes here and then leaves there, imposes some kind of football, foreign football, doesn't take the culture or the playing style of the nation into consideration, forces them to play some foreign football and then leaves them. And then at the end of the day, they end up not learning anything and they become stagnant. So I think definitely we need more homegrown coaches to imprint an African philosophy of football. Each team obviously has its own style of play. South Africans, we have our own style of play, but we've become so dependent on. I mean, I remember there's a quote that from Keza Mutau, who once said in an interview that Chiefs can't be coached by a local coach.
Local.
Yeah, he once said that on TV. He said only an international coach can manage to coach Chiefs, and I think that's doing our own coaches a huge injustice, and not only the coaches but the players as well, because they grow up playing a certain style of football, and only homegrown coaches understand what that style of football
Mm.
is, and instead of investing in upping the standard of coaching. They'd rather spend that money on foreign coaches, and I think it's taking us backwards. To be honest,
Yeah. Any thoughts on that, gents? Anybody agree?
Yeah, I mean, look,
No,
you
agree.
look at Algeria. Look at Algeria, right? They went back to a local coach, and then bam, 36 games or 30 games unbeaten. You know, but if you look at issues of like what do you call this? Sorry. If you look at most of the teams that have local coaches, they're doing well. Even
They're
at
doing
club
well.
football level,
Yeah.
even at club football level, you look at what Peter's been able to do with Mamelodi Sundowns and Alafi,
Yeah.
right? And I mean, I think that has kind of also now set a trend in motion. I think more teams and more national teams might start now looking, at homegrown coaches outside of them being a cheaper option, right? But like Chadley and Milton said, those guys understand the local football. They understand the culture. And I would like to believe that at national team, there's not too much coaching that you actually can do because you're dealing with professionals at that level and you only have them 5 days, right? Obviously, now you have to work on the tactics and whatnot. And when you understand the type of football that these guys actually play, I think it might become more easier for you to bring those synergies, work on those tactics also, but also knowing that these guys are almost on the same wavelength because they understand how a right back from Kasi plays. Unlike now, me as coming from Europe, I want you to bomb down the right like you are Kieran Tierney,
Trend.
when and you know, and
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
all know that that might not be a strength for our players,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely do agree with Milton. Yeah.
All right, gents. This is another subject I'm going to move on from quickly because if not, we're going to be here forever, exchanging intellectual tidbits. So, last thing, gents, on these African World Cup qualifiers: Ivory Coast fails to beat Mozambique. Cameroon overcomes Malawi, and then Ivory Coast goes and beats Cameroon. What do you think about those two giants right now, Cameroon and Ivory Coast? Any opinions on those two gents?
they they're both in transitional phases, in my opinion.
Mm.
Cameroon, especially, still shock winners of 2019 AFCON. Um, they did it also with an experimental team to start off with. Um, I say experimental like that because it's not the usual faces that you saw,
Mm.
but the rebuilding phase doesn't stop there. Cote d'Ivoire has been it's a huge ask for them to replace the likes of Didier Drogba, Didier Zokora, Yaya Toure,
Golden age,
Javinho.
right? That's a golden age
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
them.
it's a
Years ago,
huge
back.
ask. It's a huge ask, especially if you're pinning your hopes on, as much as I love him, Wilfried Zaha,
Mm.
who
Careful,
who is
careful.
no, hear me out. Wilfried Zaha's amazing, but for him to carry that torch, that huge torch of Didier Drogba, is a huge
Yeah,
ask.
it's a huge ask. Yeah,
Mm.
sure.
Especially since he's grown up in England,
Yeah,
he himself has had to adjust to life in Abidjan. You know,
mm,
he
mm.
himself,
Traveling the
Ahmad Diallo
continent.
as well.
Yeah,
Exactly, Ahmad Diallo as well. It's a huge ask to expect this young team to reach those heights, as good, as talented as they are. There is a certain barrier which needs to break for them to get to that level again.
yeah,
and also I
yeah.
think
And yeah,
Didier
go ahead, Willie.
Drogba had a great supporting cast. If
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wilfred
Yeah.
Zaha can't do it alone, so he needs
Uh-huh.
someone else to also carry some of that load, so that he doesn't get on the pitch every match and he's expected to
Mm.
score 3 goals and win the
Uh,
match. And it becomes especially difficult when they're like 1-0 down, and then everyone's looking to him to equalize and to
Yeah,
win the game
hey,
as well. It's
do
too much.
something. Do
Yeah.
something. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And look, and I actually think Ivory Coast is quite talented. This new generation of younger players that's coming up, most of them are playing in some decent teams in Europe, France, or some other well-known league. So they do have the potential to sometime in the near future gel, get it together, really mature, and become a powerhouse again on the African continent. But I think I agree with Chad that right now is perhaps not quite their moment. They're still in transition. And then Cameroon is a similar idea. Cameroon is also still, again, trying to find their feet after having incredible generations of players and ballers. They're trying to recapture some of that dominance that they once enjoyed on the continent. All right, gents. So let's keep it moving because I think we're going to have a lot to say because it's Champions League week, fellas. Right, today we got Champions League. Today we got Champions League tomorrow. Okay, so I think for the rest of the show, we're gonna be kicking it with some serious previews of Champions League matches and a couple of Europa games. Okay, what do you guys think today? Young boys, Manchester United. That's the first one we're gonna talk about. What do you guys think?
Hey, the return of the gods. The return of the gods. I think that was going to dominate all the headlines. That's going to dominate all the headlines. And at this rate, after the first game we watched, right, I don't think it's going to slow down. I think he's going to punish everyone in front of him because at the end of the day, some of us are intimidated by him, by his presence. So
it's already 1-0 to United, by the way.
Who scored? No.
But United have a red card. Cristiano Ronaldo, Mr. Champions League.
Exactly.
But Wan-Bissaka's out.
Oh.
All right. Well, that makes sense. Right. All right. Makes sense. Villarreal. Let's move it. Let's keep it moving. Villarreal, Atalanta.
1-1 draw.
1-1.
1-1 draw.
Villarreal, what you got?
I'm with Chadley. Scoring draw. Definitely a scoring draw.
Yeah. Duvan Zapata bangs.
You like some Duvan, don't you? You like Duvan. He's a player. He's a player.
He is. He comes clutch in the important moments.
Sure. Another game that's on currently right now is Sevilla and Salzburg. We are at 1-1. How do you guys think that game ends?
Scoring draw also. It's very similar to Villarreal and Atalanta. The type of teams that they are, the stature of the teams, but these are both football playing teams, not scared to attack. And I don't think there's too much that separates them at this stage. So I think there's definitely scoring draws. 2-2 maybe. I think that's an exciting game for a neutral, definitely. Probably 2-2 for sure.
All right, cool. We have Football in Pigeon here. That's just giving us some updates as well. Ronaldo scored. I know you liked that, my friend. Ronaldo scoring. Okay. Good. Let's keep it moving. Lille and Wolfsburg. Go ahead.
Wan-Bissaka also got Wan-Bissaka got a red card as well.
Yeah. We're all aware of that. One is out. That one needs to go play for DRC and stop wasting everyone's time.
Please.
Lille and Wolfsburg. I don't know. Where's Amunga? Maybe he left. These are things we should know. Maybe a little Swahili will help us in the future. Okay. So Lille and Wolfsburg, gentlemen. Wolfsburg. Lille has started quite poorly this season. Wolfsburg has looked fantastic. What do you guys think?
If I could chime in.
Yeah, sure.
Wolfsburg are on the come up again. And it's good to see. Lille are going to struggle. Their coach who won them League 1 has left for Nice abruptly. Players have left the club as well. For them to rebuild, it's gonna be a huge ask. I feel like they just need to enjoy the ride, enjoy the vibes,
Mm-hmm.
have a nice time, get the
Mm,
Get some
checks,
TV
and
rights.
bounce.
yeah, like
Cause
Bafana
Yeah.
no way.
Bafana.
Stop that.
Ah, 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 ah.
Stop
You
that.
know it's true. You know it's true.
Stop
You
that.
know it's true.
Stop
It,
that.
What are you guys' thoughts on
it's
that? Yeah.
true, but like, let's give the kids their chance, man. At least the kids
Yeah.
are playing.
No, the kids are playing, and the kids are playing well. Yeah, South Africa
See,
has a future,
Mm.
but
for
that's
me,
not
it
what we're
was the
talking
same
about now.
old.
Yeah.
Oh,
But no, go ahead, Ramuki.
yeah.
It's fine. But
Because
after that comment, it's the last time because you know
right,
Bafana
no
gives me
problem, no
stress.
problem.
Go ahead,
I
go
was
ahead.
gonna say because it's not the same old. I'm a bit optimistic.
You
Do you
are
understand?
optimistic.
Don't don't do this to
I'm a
yourself.
bit optimistic. Because it's not the same old players that we've always known.
Mm.
It's
Yeah.
always the kids that we've always
Yeah.
wanted to see, right? To
Okay.
give
Yeah.
them a chance. It's not the same old uh, players that were always playing, always giving us the same results, losing, and then we go get a couple of dopes and talk about Arsenal and Bafana being in the same level.
Okay.
I
Okay. I'm stopping you there because you're
Yeah,
depressing me again. Let's
It's
move
fine.
on.
Butler heard,
It's
but
Let's
at
move
fine.
on.
least there's romance.
Yeah, no, okay, I hear you. I hear you. Let's move on. Here's a big one, and obviously there's a lot of debate about what Barcelona, what will become of Barcelona in the absence of Messi. How do you see Barcelona versus Bayern going? Right, I think it's at the No Camp. How do we feel about that one?
Yeah, it's just a no
I think
camp.
Barcelona
Uh,
is gonna get hammered.
Barcelona hammered, gents. What do you think?
no, I think it's gonna be a good game, right? It's gonna be a balanced game. As long as the Barca players can get Messi out of their head.
Mm,
If they can just get Messi out their head, I think Memphis might just be the star of this game. He's been having a couple of good games. They've been giving him the freedom, obviously. A draw, definitely. That would be a loss, obviously, for Bayern at this stage. But if the Barca guys can get Messi out their head, they should be okay. I think they can definitely salvage a draw at home.
Okay,
And
two
then a
follow-up
win.
questions, gents.
Yeah.
I see Ramuki wants to say something. Two follow-up questions. Can they realistically, this early into Messi's departure, get Messi out of their heads? One. And two,
Yeah.
would Barcelona be happy with the draw, or will they be looking to win the fixture?
Okay, number one, no, no, it's too early, too early. And
Ah.
number two, I definitely see them wanting a draw against Bayern. Because let's be honest, even when Messi was on the pitch, even when
Yeah.
Messi was on the pitch against Bayern, they were still fighting tooth and nail. Without him there, come on, they've got
Yeah,
no chance.
yeah,
They've got no
yeah.
chance. I'm sorry. I
I
see,
think,
I see, I see Bayern walking at least 3 goals inside there, and then just after that, just pass the ball around and make them chase the whole game.
I actually see that being more of a thing that's happening. Any more comments quickly on that Bayern Barca game? Any more thoughts?
4-1.
All right, let's 4-1 Bayern.
Yes.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Of course,
Okay,
yeah, so
this
about
one's
right.
a quick
Sounds about
one.
right.
Quick one. Benfica Dinamo. Benfica
On
takes
paper,
care of
you'd think, yeah,
Take-
Benfica
yeah,
on paper.
right.
Benfica on
Benfica
paper,
takes care
yeah.
of business. I mean,
Those
Yeah.
those guys from thingy, bro. Those guys from Ukraine. Those Ukrainians, dog. They come with some other football. Got a team full of Brazilians there. Got a team full of Brazilians there. Then you don't know what's going on. But on paper, you think Benfica should take this definitely. Yeah.
yeah, I agree
Unless
with
it's
that
a
one.
Ukrainian home game.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
okay,
It is.
yeah,
It is.
yeah,
It
okay.
is.
So
Yeah.
there might be, there
Yeah.
might be a little bit of that, but you would still expect a team with Benfica's quality, ability, experience to take care of
Mhm.
business, right?
Mm.
Chelsea,
definitely.
Zenit. This one's an interesting one. What do you guys think?
Ooh.
Chelsea's
On
looking
paper,
strong these days. Yeah,
What would you say, Milton? Say that again.
I'm saying Chelsea's looking strong these days.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, obviously it's early days in the Champions League. They're doing well in the league. Obviously they have Lukaku. That's a powerhouse. He's proven Champions League, uh, domestic league. So that's something to give defenders a headache about. And I think they're playing pretty well, and they've got depth in their squad.
Yeah.
If only Sol can get out of his head, then I think he'll
Get
be a solid contribution addition to the team.
Yeah.
So Chelsea, every
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's
I
Chelsea?
I just want to see. I know it's Joga Afro, but I'm gonna mention this dude because he's brown and Brazilian and he's got an afro. Claudinho. I want to see Claudinho and Malcolm link up at Zenit. I'm
yeah,
looking forward to that.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Well, no, Brazilians can never deny their Afrocentricity. So we're with you. We're with you there.
Yeah.
We're with you there. All right, gents. So that's the fixtures for today. But let's take a quick peek. Tomorrow, I think we have about 10, 15 minutes absolute max. So what do you guys think? Besiktas, Dortmund tomorrow.
Dortmund.
Dortmund.
Draw.
Dortmund. I'm biased.
Draw.
That's my
2-1
favorite-
Dortmund.
That's my favorite German team.
Dortmund, yeah, I know you're a big supporter
Yeah.
of Dortmund. Well, you guys, Ramuki, you said something interesting there. You think it's going to be a draw?
Yeah, just a gut feeling. I've got no facts to have behind me. I'm just saying. There's
Don't
something
bet
about
on that.
Dortmund right now. There's something about
Hey,
Dortmund
man.
right now that I'm just kind of holding back on.
Interesting.
There's Haaland
Well,
there,
I will
man.
say this.
Haaland is gonna bang.
Yeah, I was gonna say that Haaland is a freak of nature, android with the blood, with the Viking blood of Odin, and who's that chap from Viking? Is Ragnar Lothbrok, right? Could be
Ragnar
Ragnar. Yeah, that's Ragnar Lothbrok's son. So I think Dortmund is obviously a very powerful because of that. But Besiktas has had a really good transfer window. Quietly,
Yeah.
they've gotten some good business done.
Mishi Batshuayi.
Yeah, including Mishi
Yeah.
left
Yeah.
Palace.
That man.
Or he was on loan, but left Chelsea to go to Turkey. So I think even if Dortmund get the job done, I don't think it's going to be some kind of massacre, right?
Yeah.
And I think it will be a good game.
Yeah. I don't think it'll be a walk in the park for Dortmund, obviously, yes, but I just don't see Besiktas coming up with the win for this. A draw would be great for them, but I don't see them taking it. I really don't see them taking it.
Yeah. All right.
Ramukai, for a betting man, don't ruin your bet slip with that game.
don't lose money in chat. We're already on those COVID budgets.
Because of Besiktas.
We're already on those COVID budgets, my boy. Just be careful with your money, right? All right, next one, which I think is a really interesting fixture and pretty open, although people have disagreed with me. Sporting and Ajax. What do you guys think?
Ooh,
That's a great game.
Good game, right? Good game.
That's-
Open game, right? Who do you guys think takes that one?
Sporting 3-2.
I can see a
I'm,
high-scoring game. I can see a high-scoring game.
But
Pablo
I think I'm gonna
Sarabia
go with
bangs a
Ajax.
goal and assist.
What's that?
I see an end-to-end game, but I see a very simple 2-1, 1-0. I don't see a very high-scoring game, but I see a very entertaining game.
Yeah, absolutely. These are two proper footballing clubs, right? These guys play football. Both of these clubs, and obviously both of them constantly producing quality players at every part of the pitch. So it's likely to really produce some fireworks, right?
I'm gonna go with Ajax because they've got Sebastian Haller there, man, and that boy bangs.
The boy, he banged for Ivory Coast.
He's banged two goals for Ivory Coast over the weekend.
Yeah.
So no, the boy can play. Didn't quite fit in there at West Ham, right? But at Ajax, he's finding his feet, right?
Yeah.
Finding his feet. Yeah. Okay. So Ajax, I think I agree with you guys on that one. I think I see Ajax taking it, but it's both teams will come out with bruises there. It's going to be a fight.
Definitely.
Quick one. Let's get over this one quickly. Sheriff and Shakhtar. I mean Shakhtar, right? Shakhtar, right?
Come on.
Mini Brazil.
Yeah.
Bizo, where are you now? Where are you sitting?
Yeah. No, obvious. Right? I wouldn't even want to insult the people of Sao Paulo and Brazil by saying anything other than that. Right?
Nah.
Okay, let's move on to a more interesting fixture then. Inter Milan, Real Madrid. This is a cracker. This is
That's
a
a big
cracker,
game.
right?
That's
This
a
is a
big game.
cracker,
Good game.
right? What do you
But,
think?
right? Yeah. Inter lost two players who were very integral to their team.
Key. Mhm.
Hakimi
Mm.
and and Lukaku. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Hakimi was always bombing down the right, whatever, left, right, left, I think if I'm not mistaken. You know,
Both of them. Both of them.
assists, both of them exact with the assists, cutting in, getting the balls in, dangerous areas, and Lukaku always at the end of that. Punishing. But now, what does that mean now? Especially coming in against Madrid, who they weren't too active in the window, but they've got a solid team. They have a solid
Quality.
team, obviously with Alaba at the back now. Very solid team to replace Ramos. I think Madrid's definitely taking this one. I think Madrid might take this one.
I also agree with
not
that.
too high scoring, but yeah, 2-1 Madrid. Yeah.
What do you guys think? Yeah,
Yeah.
Madrid, Inter.
Madrid.
Listen, I just
An easy draw.
Look,
you
I think Madrid.
you don't want to see any winners this week. No?
no.
It's an easy draw
Look.
because I think everybody's bleeding right now. Everybody's
Yeah.
bleeding.
Yeah.
Okay, the transfer window for Madrid wasn't really special.
Yeah.
Maybe one or two players, but it wasn't really that special.
Alaba, Kamavinga. Yeah,
Camavinga.
pretty special
That's
to
fine.
me.
Pretty special, man. Two special players.
No,
That's
good
fine
players,
right
good
there.
players,
That's
but
fine.
you still don't wanna put too much pressure on them so early. You
Yeah,
still
fair
want to give
enough.
them time to settle. Okay,
Yeah.
so give them time to settle.
Those guys are big
Later
players.
on, we'll have a different conversation, right?
Mm.
But those are two players I'm actually not worried about in terms of gelling into the team. I think they're going to be fine.
Yeah, they'll be fine.
But I do
Yeah.
agree with you. I do agree with you that you shouldn't rush them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is
Okay,
Real Madrid.
Okay,
Pressure.
let's move, gents.
Pressure is Madrid.
I want to get to all of these.
What?
I want to
You're
get to
gonna
all
tell
of
me
these.
about
This is not Arsenal. This is Real Madrid, Chief. There's gonna be pressure.
Tell me about Hazard.
There's going.
Tell me about
You have to live with the pressure, my man.
Yeah,
You have
listen,
to
Vini,
win Madrid.
Vini has
Yeah.
also been on fire. Now, Vini's been playing.
Yeah.
Vini's been balling. So
Yeah.
Madrid can definitely come out and take care of business. Listen,
Yeah.
for me, Inter, no Lukaku. I'm not moved.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not moved. And then you lose Lukaku and you lose Hakimi.
Hakimi.
I have a hard time seeing them making any real waves. I
Two
think
big
Madrid-
players. Two big players
Yeah.
for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
City, Leipzig. I love me some Leipzig, but can they beat City?
It's gonna be a good game. Good game for the
Uh,
neutral. Definitely a good game for the neutral.
Only if Pep overthinks.
Yeah.
Leipzig wins if Pep
Don't worry,
overthinks.
it's not the final.
which is likely. Which is likely to happen.
Which is very likely. The thing is,
Don't
against
worry.
Leipzig, you have to play, right? You can't just show up and think you're walking away with the 3 points, right? You have to play against these German boys. Right? But they've sold a lot of players, Leipzig, to Bayern, to
Yeah.
Liverpool, to
So,
all over the place. Their center back pairing is gone. Dio and Ibrahim there.
Konate.
Konate, Ibrahim Konate. So you're looking at two of their key players for their success last year, gone. So they might struggle, but they're still a force, right?
I still think, you know what, Red Bull is not just a club, it's a footballing brand. So there's at least 3 boys from Salzburg there right now. I know that Dominic that guy is there. He's their main playmaker. He's their main playmaker from Salzburg. And there's at least another African somewhere who can
have,
fill a role.
They have my boy, the Malian boy, Haidara. Amadou.
Yeah,
I
Amadou
love him.
Haidara has been there.
Quality player, top.
And then
top
there's
quality.
And then there's still Danny Olmo, the likes of Danny Olmo, who's
True.
still a threat.
That's true.
So I'm not saying Leipzig can take it. They can only take it if Pep overthinks, as I said. But
yeah.
it's City have to come to the party. Jack Grealish must share the ball and move the ball.
Yeah, he must move
If-
the ball.
if-
It's not gonna be an easy game for them. So they're
Yeah.
definitely gonna have to work.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, gents. Sorry to cut you off, but I really want to finish these up. 3 more matches to take care of. The first one is Bruges, PSG. Obviously, PSG takes care of it,
PSG.
right?
PSG.
Can we all agree with that? Ramuki, if you say a draw, I'm just going to there's a button here to kick people out of the studio. I'm just gonna click right quick, and we'll see you next week.
Listen. Not with PSG.
Okay.
I mean, you can see the pedigree they have.
Okay.
So it's
All right.
unrealistic for me to think it's not going to be an exciting game.
Okay.
And
No,
it's
I'm
not
glad
gonna
Only
be-
if Bruges. Only if Bruges that picks it out. Only if that picks it out, then yeah.
And Emmanuel Dennis.
He'll be playing against Messi.
Emmanuel Dennis went to go join Little Nigeria there in Watford. Watford signed about 6 African players. Those guys are serious about staying in the Premier League. They went and said, "Hey, we're going to just sign African players." Yeah. But good luck to them in January. I have no idea what they're going to do. Liverpool, Milan. Let's keep it moving. Liverpool, Milan.
Liverpool.
Zlatan is old now and
out.
He messed up his Achilles, so he's not gonna be there. But I'm not too worried about Milan. To be honest, Liverpool.
Temba,
this one.
Temba, does your boy Giroud bang?
Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this?
I had to.
But hopefully, Saudio finds his feet. Yeah, he struggling a little bit in the Prem, right?
This might be the game for him.
Yeah, this is the game for him. Big game, but not opposition that you'd expect them to struggle.
Exactly.
Right? It could be a good springboard, right? I mean, we hope so. Otherwise, Ramuki is just going to depress me.
To go home and he'll be fine. Right now,
he needs to go. He needs to go slaughter a white chicken, and it must be male.
He must slaughter a chicken. Must slaughter a chicken.
You must watch those New Balances and something.
Okay, sure, gents. Before we get too African here, let's move on to the last one here, gentlemen. Atletico Madrid versus Porto. This is an interesting one. Big game. What do you guys think?
It's big.
Atletico.
I stick with Atletico.
Atletico 1-0.
Atletico 1-0. Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. They're gonna score that one goal and then they're gonna forget about football altogether. They don't care about the rest. 3 points in the bag. Head on home.
Let's go.
Thank you very much.
Definitely.
Okay, gentlemen, for today, this is where we're going to end the show. This is usually how long it's going to be, folks. Thank you so much for coming into view. We're looking at an hour and 10, hour and 15 minutes. We know you guys have a lot going on, and so we'd like to really thank you guys for being here. Gents, any last words for the fans, for the viewers? Ramuki, we'll start with you.
Last words.
Yeah, for the fans and viewers.
That's my last word. I'm done.
Okay, man wants to stress me out. Tembani, what do you have to say?
Let's just keep on supporting African football. African football can only grow without support. Stream it, watch it. When you get a chance, go to the stadium, buy the jersey. Follow the teams, but also the teams have to, play their part. But let's just keep on supporting African football. African players in the diaspora or everywhere, wherever they are. Yeah, thanks for the show, Mbizo. Great show.
All right. Miltonius, what you got to say, brother?
I'll just add on to what Temba said. Keep supporting African football. If you have the opportunity, once the stadiums reopen, go out there and go watch football. And also stay safe. Get vaccinated.
All right. Chadley, what about from you, buddy? Last words.
Viva Africa, Viva football. Joga Afro is back. It's good to be here. It's good to be home. Let's believe in Bafana. Have a good night.
You people want to stress me out. Look my father. Folks, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for all the comments. Big up to all the comments in the comment section from all the folks there. Really appreciate it. Doing Sani's last word is that Liverpool win the EPL. Fingers crossed for the Africans. Simnikiwa says great show. Football and Pigeon says big up to the panel. Thanks a lot, folks. That's it for this week. This is Joga Afro. Please like, subscribe. This is all your football from an African perspective, from the continent and the entirety of the diaspora. Folks, I appreciate you, gents. I'm going to see you next week.
Thanks,
Big ups.